We're back again, and this one to me is all about consistency. So if you listen to this and that's something you struggle with a little bit, I'm here now because I was just about to start doing this, just about to do it, and I actually thought to myself, you know what? I haven't got time, or I don't feel it, or I didn't want to do it. And I thought, well, this is the no edit, and it's a representation of us being human beings with none of the bull crap around it, being honest, being truthful, and that's my truth right now. I wasn't really feeling it. It's not that I'm not in a good place. I'm in a great mood. I'm off to do something really cool. It's just I was just about to press go, and as I was gonna, I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna. And I've gone on about the 90% rule for such a long time now that everything you do, 90% of it is just showing up. And I was stood here right now, showing up. I had enough time. Everything was going well, and I thought I'm going to give in. So if any of you want to give in, like this, I never give in, and this is me showing up. This is like you could say when you don't show up, or you're not at your best. But when is your best? I don't know when that is, but so yeah, it's 90% rule. So we've showed up, you've showed up, everyone's shown up. I think as well. If I want to represent, I've not worked full time plus some for a long time, and I think that's challenging because also it's really important to me is living. I'm not about work. I'm about living, and I think one of the representations that I've always made myself is that I wasn't born on this world to work all the time. I have to work to pay the rent and all kinds of things like that. But overall, I'm here to live. But I think this is me living, and I want this is about you seeing how someone can live and still be all right and still have things going on. And as I speak to you today, I had a mental meeting last night on one of the biggest things in my life that is going to air in the next few months. Not yet, but it's a thing of perspective. A client came to me yesterday, and a lady was recommending me, and she said, "I don't know if you can help this. It's a communication thing. They're at work and they're at loggerheads with another boss, and that boss isn't going to change, and they're not going to change." And I was thinking, well, I don't really do communication. It's not one of the things. So I just sent back saying the one thing I can help you with is perspective. Is that really putting it into place that what you can't control, get on with the things you can control, and I could work with someone along that, and I'll make people feel the best. So yeah, that's where we are. So it's funny, I had a big day yesterday, and I've not actually done this for quite a few days now because I had a crazy weekend, and there's going to be further episodes of that. I'm not here to speak, but what I did recollect, my chimp got excited by someone else's stimulus. So I didn't create something; it was their stimulus, and their stimulus was totally out of order. And then my chimp did a little thing, and yeah, he did it. Maybe if I look back, should I basically sent a message to someone when they had done something totally wrong, and that message went on to create their chimp to go insane. They just cut the nose off to spite the face. They gave up something monumental, biggest thing in my life. We were going to do this together, and they just gave it up in a heartbeat of being on one and being like on one with themselves. But I'll tell you what, they were like your chimp's really active. You're tired, you've been drunk, you're stressed. That's the time. I was actually thinking about this. I was thinking about when we were replying, it's our chimp. The chimp is, I think I spoke about in the last episode. It's the Chimp Paradox. The idea is Professor Steve Peters said there's a chimp. I'm not going to go further into it. Have a little look at it. Look at the synopsis of it. But yeah, my chimp's caused me loads of problems in my life, and on this instance, I don't think it was one of them. But he did have a lot of adrenaline afterwards, and he didn't like the moment. But the next day, when I was back to being me again, it was great because I reflected that I've changed a lot. And although my chimp's still there and he made a mistake, he doesn't control or define me anymore. And now I can see through him when he's happening. And I thought about a rule. I thought if I need to respond to someone, and it's certain events like relationship, family, like work. I mean, like if someone's got a problem with you, or there is a problem, or you're not happy, then possibly you shouldn't respond for 12 hours. You can write it, but you cannot respond because how many times have you been caught out with your response to a stimulus, and then it gets dealt with your response rather than the stimulus in the first place. So that's been a thing in my life. But often in my 20s, my response was totally out of order. Yeah, it was a cry me, it was emotional, it was feel sorry for me, it was what about me though, what about me? So if you're there with yours with that, I'd yeah, take note that sometimes when you make that silly reply and you say the wrong word and you don't mean it, and later on you have to apologise. Imagine if we don't send it, because on the whole of my life I don't anymore, and this stimulus was so big that I actually sent it. Um, in the relation to stimulus, what are the words "I love you"? I had an interesting thing that saying "I love you" for the first few times when you say it to someone, it's a habit that you need to break, and it made me think. Like you love people. I tell a lot of people that I love them, but it takes that one time to say it once, and once you say it once, it becomes a habit. So it reminds me, 19 years ago, my mum died, and we never. She loved me, and I loved her, but we never said it. We never hugged. And one day, she found out she had cancer, and she had so long left to live, and I gave her a hug. I said, "I love you, mum." She said, "I love you, son." And it became a habit. I remember the next day, as soon as I saw her, I gave her a hug, and I said, "I love you, mum." I'd never said it in a whole life. 27 years, I'd never said it, and then I said it every day, and we did it repeatedly. I remember one day saying to my mum, I said, why have we never done this before? She said, "I don't know, Chris. It just feels so normal now." And I think it's breaking that norm of anything, isn't it? Like, I think me being here now was when the norm isn't me going to work and just before making a little short 10-minute episode of a podcast without a name. It's getting a name, I'll tell you this. But you've got to make the norm become the norm, and it becomes like it's like I've just got out of the cold shower. I now never want to quit on the cold shower because it's come that ingrained as a habit. I do it. So make "I love you" and hugging someone and telling someone what you care. Make that a habit. And the other one is what's happened with me this week is, and it was great, and it was something that I've been missing. When my chimp had been about, and normally I keep it to myself. Well, I don't keep it to myself actually. I do. In fact, I never keep it to myself. But in this instance, I reached out very early on to knowing that I'd maybe made some bad decisions. And when I reached out, someone gave me the time and gave me their energy. And you know what? It really helped me. And every single time I've ever reached out to someone, it always makes me feel better. I don't know whether it's the reaching out or the information you receive, but I always feel better by that. So there's a little bit of a thing in there. If you've got something to reach out about, do it now. Tell them you love them and then ask them to reach out. Seek some advice. The other one I'm going to finish with now is for two things actually. One, be a student. I just on my podcast this morning, I heard it was Simon Sinek said it. Be a student, and it's interesting because I'm doing some teaching at the minute. I'm off today to do the afternoon of sports day. Not in the shirt and tie today, which is amazing. And I've noticed that because I messed around when I was at school, I didn't take a lot of stuff in because we were too busy being naughty. So I'm teaching a lot of things now that's the first time round for me, and I'm so enjoying it. History, love history. Every time we do something, I don't know it. I learn it just before, deliver it, or maybe facilitate it. Love it. Yesterday I am interested in the solar system. But what I was thinking was, be a student, ask a question, don't be scared to. Students are never asked. You go into a classroom, there's no problem asking the most stupid question. What when you just ask questions anywhere in life? What does it matter? Be a student forever, find out the information, show that you're willing to learn and not that you know everything, but more where you're trying to take everything in and be that student. I'll finish in this one. Something happened the other day. I've got a few big things happening at the minute. That one's been going on for 4 years, and it's probably the biggest thing in my life. And it's coming not to an end, but coming to a next point, and it's big and it's emotional. And then I remembered this. It was just at the point I was somewhere and I was really happy. And I just got a text about this bad thing happening. And it reminded me this, right? So wherever you are right now, good or bad place, that everything that happened before, like with me, I'd never regret anything that went on. And these big things happened to me recently. And if they wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be in the predicament I am now. I was actually thinking about being with my girlfriend. And it made me think that if everything bad hadn't happened, I wouldn't be with her right there and right then. And do you know what? I really want to be. And it feels so right. And I'm really enjoying the experience. But it would 100% not have happened if all the bad things previously didn't happen. 100%, no doubt. I said this with you, and I said there's no doubt. So if all the bad things that happened in the past didn't happen, they wouldn't be giving you the new things that are going to happen. So when they are happening, and I look at everything bad that's ever happened, I don't care about it. I think it made me as a person. And without it, would I be the same person? I don't think I would. So if we always think like that when the bad things are going on, that they're creating your next party situation, maybe they're not as bad as what we think they are. Because that is the majority of all things that happen to you, is the way that we think about them things happening. So if you're having that bad thing and it's going on right now, remember, that bad thing has to happen if you're going to get all the things you want before. First time I've ever gone to 10 minutes. You have an amazing day. Tell someone you love them, turn it into a habit, and make sure you stay happy.